very loud and clear.
Okay, wonderful. So let us pay homage to the Triple Gem together. So please, everyone, join your palm. อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวาพุทธังภะคะวันตังอภิวาเทมิ สวาคาโตภะคะวตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมมัสสามิ สุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนะมามิ นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังธัมมังสังฆังอนุตตรังนัมมัสสามิ Okay, hello everyone, and good afternoon from Thailand. Okay, so now wherever you are, just sit back and relax, and we will be continuing the history of the Buddha from last week. So this week we have 20 and 22, 21 attendance. So again, so last week we was discussing about the Indian continent and also the Buddha family, about his lineage. So, and this week is going to be the beginning of the journey of the life of the prince, the journey of Bodhisattva. So let's see how many people we have. Okay, so we have host today. We have หลวงพี่วุฒิเนาะหลวงพี่วรวุฒินะครับอาจารย์วรวุฒิสี่อาราดะกันทะหงส์สุจยนะตะกุตองเอ็ดเวิร์ดHegel Esweg and I retreat Camilla. So and are you where are you where are three of you at the temple?
Hello, Lungbi. We are in Paktong Chai. The temple, yes.
So where is the temple, in Thailand or in?
Yes, Prajan. In Thailand, Paktong Chai.
Paktong Chai. Oh, I see.
Yes.
Kimma. Roland and Marisa Shang. Maisi. For young one. So Panyavaro Piku. พระสิริวันโน Richard Erlen. We have Sandra Gomez, and Sony Yonwanits, Sittikan Anchit, Venerable Atip Yomun, and Ying. Okay, so has everybody got this book, which the Prajan Warawut gave us in the bulk chat in line group? Everyone download this books already? Okay, so the main source that we're going to use for our class, I'm going to be using this textbook for our study. I find it's very useful, and there's a plenty of details and information that's covered maybe for the elementary level. So I take a look at the what Mekong Tham provide us in their website. I find that it's quite short about the story. So I find that what Prajan Warabut share with us. So that's quite cover all the detail for the elementary level. So now let me share my presentation. So what we're going to be learning and discuss in our class. So it the slides on, so everybody can see the slide. Okay, great. So for this week, so we are now in the chapter 3, the Buddha birth. So we're going to be exploring and taking a look about his childhood and his early life and with his there's many important events that happened when he was young. So I would like to start from I would like to start from the Bodhisattva journey. So does anybody understand what Bodhisattva means? So you may have heard about this term before, Bodhisattva, or sometimes they say Bodhisattva, Bodhisattva. So literally translate into English as the Buddha to be. So the one who are they're accumulating the good deeds, good action, or in Pali terms, sometimes they mention as accumulating the barami. Barami in perfection. So the quality for the Buddha, for self-enlightened Buddha, that he have to train and accumulate these kind of good action in order to become the self-enlightened Buddha. So according to the text that's mentioned, so this is from the text that I showed you earlier. It mentioned that the Lord Gautama Buddha was one just an ordinary person who had undergone rebirth in the different realm of existence, as dictated by his accumulated karma or karma. In one existence, 20 asangaya kappa. So this is the duration that the time that he have been accumulating the perfection of Balami in order to become the Buddha. So we'll talk about this later, about the duration of about the Sangaya. It's a kind of a timing in Buddhism. An additional 100,000 kappas ago. So this is another term of to tell, giving the timing in Buddhism. He was a poor man, living with his mother and earning a living by selling what he could find in the forest, including firewood to the people in town. So, and this is the beginning of the Bodhisattva, when he first had the intention to become the Buddha. So what is explained here, Gaba. What's Gaba mean? So what explained here, Gaba means an earth age. So it means that when the earth is reform, destroy and reform and destroys again. So that is the meaning of kappa. And asankhya is the number 10 to power 140. It's very long. It's almost like infinity. So when you put the 10 and follow by 140 zero. So some soldiers mentioned that it's just like countless, uncountable. It's close to like the infinity. And what kappa? Kappa in the Sappada Sutta mentioned. So there was a monk, asked the Buddha, and how long one kappa is. So Buddha mentioned that it's uncountable. It cannot compare. It cannot say that it's 100 years or 1,000 years or million, 1,000 years. No. So then the monk continued to ask, could you give a comparison to the kappa? Then the Buddha and answered the monk that suppose there was a huge stone, a huge stone mountain, a league long. A league is about like 7 mile, a league long, a league wide, and a league height, and with no crack or hole, and one solid man. And at each century path, someone would stroke it with a fine cloth from Kasi, So it's like like someone using that fine cloth, very, very, very fine, and stroke on the this kind of stone of mountain, 100 years, 100 years, one time. So by this mean, the huge stone mountain would be worn away. It means that it would turn into flat. The eon come to an end. Eon means kappa. So another term of kappa. And that's how long an eon is. So this is what the Buddha explained. That's it is very long about the timing. So that he answered the monk. So how long have the Bodhisattva have to accumulate the perfection of parami to become the Buddha? So go back to the story of the poor man. So one day he was resting at the harbor, and after having sold all the firewood, so here the firewood seller, he saw the crew leaving the ship to go home. So they appeared to be earning more money. So like he saw that, oh, these crews are having more money than him, So he went inside the ship to ask for a job from the ship owner. So on condition that he could bring his mother along. So he asked the ship owner that he would like to bring his mother with him. So the ship owner agreed and hired him. Then while the ship was sailing in the sea, it was wrecked by a violent storm. So it was wrecked. The new crew member told his mother to hang on to his shoulder as he hung on to a board and tried to swim ashore. So at that time he saw his shipmate were slightly disappearing into the water, one by one. And he felt keenly his own suffering and that of his shipmate. It became evident to him then all the form of suffering experienced by human beings and all living beings. So that is the time that it was the kind of suffering associated with earning a living, sickness, losing a loved one, and so on. So that is the beginning that he starts seeing the suffering of the life, from that to earn and for living a life. So at that time he felt inspired to help his fellow beings, and to put an end to suffering, to help end the circle of suffering. Even though he don't know that how to do it at that time, but he have that intention to help in seeing the suffering of his shipmate. So he was willing to try and find a way. So it is said that a person having just a noble inspiration is called bodhisattva. So who have this kind of tension, that is a compassion, to beings, that's called a bodhisattva. So for a total of seven sankhya, songkhai, seven sankhya, seven sankhya kappa, in which he had undergone countless rebirths, It's taken for seven asankhya, out of 20. It's mentioned above that he accumulate and training to be a bodhisattva for 20 asankhya. For seven asankhya, he just like a rebirth, countless rebirth. And he tried on his own through trial, errors, and accumulating different kind of good deeds. Then he has accumulated merit under 125,000 Buddha. So that means in the past, there's many Buddha, it's countless Buddha that's born. And he met every Buddha and he accumulated good deed through the time of each Buddha before he felt bold and courageous enough to tell every Buddha he met afterwards and about his aspiration. And he started to speak and declare about his intention that he's going to be the Buddha sometime in the future. So that is the seven asankhya that he start to have the intention and speak out that he for sure he's going to be the Buddha in the future. So then it took him for 9 additional asankhya. So 7 asankhya and 9 more asankhya kappa. He pursue all 10 perfection, accumulating the Balami 10. So Balami 10 is about the quality for the Buddha to be that have to accumulate in order to become the Buddha in the future. To fullest extent. So it means that if he wished to be emancipated from the realm of rebirth by practicing according to teaching of any Buddha he meet, he will be able to attain arahantship and nirvana instantly. So by this accumulation, actually, he could attain nirvana. He could attain nirvana because his perfection now is ready. That's allow him to be able to attain arahantship or nirvana. But because his intention want to be the Buddha helping the beings free from suffering. So because of that, because of his compassion, he decided to help, to liberate the being. So he refused to attain arahantship. He refused to attain nirvana. And he continued, so he continued to pursue, accumulate more perfection for 4 more asankhya, asankhya kappa, and additional 100,000 kappa before he could teach a whole host of living beings to attain path and fruits of nirvana. So this is he spent the 4 asankhya to learn. It's like the skill, and to be the host, learning about how to teach the living being to attain the nirvana. So what mentioned here, a kappa or an earth age, covered the time it takes for the galaxy to be destroyed, reformed and destroyed again. So that is the time, the term called kappa. So one kappa contains 256 antarakapa. This is another term. It's about the timing. So antarakapa also turn into like a 64 asankhaya again. So sometimes it's very complicated. It's about the timing in Buddhism. In this part, you can take a look in more detail about the kappa and asankhaya in in the sutra above that I mentioned. Then before his final rebirth, he had been a male deva, or a male celestial being called Sandusita in the realm of Dusita, where the Bodhisattva usually was born before coming rebirth on earth. So all they was came to ask him to cease to be from the Dusita realm in order to be reborn on earth into a loyal family. So a bodhisattva who has pursued perfection to the fullest extent can choose to be reborn in any family, regardless as the noblest in the time at that time. So it means that if the loyal family is the noblest at that time, the bodhisattva will be reborn in the loyal family. But if Brahmin, so Brahmin is a novelist, the bodhisattva will be reborn in the Brahmin family. So at the time of the Gautama Buddha, so the loyal family was the novelist. So he was born in the loyal family. Yeah. So next is going to be the Prince Siddhartha birth. So after considering about his coming down to reborn on earth, so the Sandusita Deva considered about the age of the human, about the continent and country that he's going to be was born, the family and his mother, when everything perfect, So the Bodhisattva, came down to rebirth in the Queen Mahamaya, Sri Mahamaya. So in the story mentioned that on the night that Bodhisattva sheet to be from the Dusita realm to be conceived in his mother womb, Queen Queen Sri Mahamaya had a dream. In her dream, she went to the Deva forest or celestial forest of Himawanta. It's kind of like the heavenly realm. A white elephant came down from the mountain top. Then he held out his trunk, which carried a white lotus, and that exuded a lovely, sweet smell, and he gave the special lotus to the queen. And walk around her, Sukhambu bulleted, walk around her 3 times, and before disappear into her womb on the right side. So then then the queen wake up. So in the early morning, and she told the king Suttodana that I had a dream last night. So and told everything that she dreamed about. And the King Suttotana called the astrologer to calculate to see what is the sign of the dream of the queen. Then the court astrologer predicted that the queen would give birth to a great son. So some sort mentioned that the pure, the purest one, or the great soul coming down to be born with the queen. And King Suttotana was very happy, and take make sure that the queen was well, take good care. So it's mentioned that Bodhisattva sat in the half lotus position, even in his mother womb, at all time. So he was meditating even when he was inside the mother womb. He did not lying in the fetus position like other fetus. So normally the fetus is different, so there's a process. Nor was he tended biological matter, so it's like those kind of like blood or mucus cannot, he is not tended by this kind of biological matters. And his mother could see him clearly. So it's kind of special. So there's no need to scanner to see or the baby inside, but the mother see him clearly while he was in her womb. So when it's about to birth, so it is a tradition. It is a Indian tradition at that time that a woman, have to return or go back to her hometown, her birthplace, to give to have the baby. And the queen, Sri Mahamaya, also then asked the king and asked King Suttotana permission to return, going back to her hometown. So halfway, on the way going back to Tewataha, the city in her hometown, at the forest called Lumbini. So resting there, she felt a bird pang. Oh, she was about to give birth. Then when the time came, she stood holding on to a sala branch, while giving birth to the son. Okay, so during the birth, the Bodhisattva body was completely clean and devoid of any body fluids. He was first received in the air by Deva or celestial beings. Condensation of moisture in the air produced hot and cold water, which mixed together to give warm water, and fell down to bed in infant Bodhisattva. So he took 7 steps on his own, and each step was cushioned by lotus flower. Having taken 7 steps, he stood still and boldly proclaimed, that's a goal. Akoham Masami Lokasa. I am the foremost person on earth. I am most sublime person on earth. So it's a bravery, we call noble voice. So it was then near noon time on Friday, and the full moon day after the 6th moon, Visakha, in the years of dog. 80 years old before the Buddha era. So that's well, it is said that that's miraculous events are not. It is just common for the bodhisattva to have such a miracle thing happening. So because he had pursued perfection or parami to the fullest extent, he is capable of like extraordinary thing like ability to walk, rise up the birds, and the deva beings kept watch over him to make sure that a warm water and appear out of the air so that he can be bathed. Even an ordinary person who regularly accumulate merits is likely to meet with so surprising and amazing event. And upon investigating them by employing the supernatural power resulting from the meditative attainment, one finds that a person who regularly accumulates merit is protected and will be held by like a particular type of devas. So these devas belong to the Deva realm or celestial realm and can scary accumulate merit at the prince. But when they watch over merit-minded person, they can earn merit by rejoicing. So why these deva come and do this kind of thing? Because they when they rejoice, they can gain even merit. So then Bodhisattva body was perfect and possessed the 32 physical future. So in Pali term, it's called the Mahabodhisa Lakkhana. Mahabodhisa Lakkhana is a 32 mark of the great man, of the perfect man. Sometimes it's perfect man, great man, or superman. So one Brahmanism text. So in Brahmin Brahminist text, so give detailed how to predict a person's future based on his physical attribution. So according to the text, so the one who have a 32 physical future, the perfect man will grow up and becomes a universal monarch. But there's only two ways for the perfect man, or having sovereignty over a huge territory bordered by the four oceans of he remain a house, or if he remain a householder, but if he take up the religious life, he will attain self-enlightenment and become the Lord Buddha. So in detail, the Buddha in Lakkhana Sutta mentioned about the detail about the 32 mark of the great man. There's some part that I bring up here. It mentioned that there are 32 marks of the great man. A great man who possesses these has only two possible destiny, no other. So if he stay at home, he become a king, a wheel-turning monarch, a just and principal king. And he dominant extend to all four sides. He achieves stability in the country, and he possessed the seven treasure. And he had the following seven treasure. Like first is the wheel, the elephant, the horse, the jewel, the woman, the treasure, and the counselor. Add the seven treasure. So he has over 1,000 sons who are valiant, strong and heroic, crushing the armies of his enemy after conquer his land, good by sea. And he reigns by principle without rod or sword. It's like he can rule the kingdom without like violence, without using the weapon. But if he go forward or become a monk, so from he gave up his lay life and to the homelessness, he will become a perfect one, a perfect one, a fully awakened Buddha, who draw back to the world from the world, or Alahanda. So you can take a look in detail about the 32 mark of great man in the sutra called Lakkhana Sutra. So you see that how the Buddha looked like. So we don't have the Buddha image, how he really looked like. But the Buddha image that you see today is created by the architecture imaginary. And most of the architecture, they trying to apply these 32 mark of great man and create the Buddha image. So this is the when he was first was born, so the noble voice. So he said, when he first was born, he was able to walk 7 steps right away, and he can speak and say like, I am sheep of the world, eldest am I in the world, and foremost am I in the world, and this is the last birth, and this now no more coming to be. So that is the we call bravery words, or noble voice. So next is going to be Asita Pasa, Asita Dabot, visiting, the visiting of the Asita Pasa. So Asita Pasa was a very respected a yogi, so by the Sakaya family, the loyal family, especially the King Suttotana, it's a high respect. So when he heard about the newborn prince, he came to visit. So after being informed, I came to visit the King Suttotana, then held the prince in his arm to pay respect to the Tapasa, or to the yogi. Then when Asita saw the prince personality, that's the prince was in accordance with the great man. He was very respectful to the prince, and came to obey them. Instead of the prince, instead of the prince will respect the yogi, but in opposite, the Tapasa, the yogi, show his obedience to the prince by putting his open hand, and together to forehead, and bend forward, and still his hand touch the feet of the prince. So that's the way to showing respect, and give the prediction of the prince personality. So blessed, and then went back to his own residence. So some said that the Asita, the yogi, was very happy at that time when he first saw But for a while, he turned into like he feels sad and sorrow, So and he cried. Some said that he cried because he thought that he thought that he will not able to live long. He can listen to the Dhamma lecture from the prince. So that's the reason why he was crying before he going back. And he predict that the prince will be the Buddha for sure. So this made loyal family believe in the prince. So that's paying homage by the yogi. Made the family, the loyal family, seeing that prince is such a great man. So give their own prince as his follower. So after 5 days, 5 days after birth, so it's a naming ceremony. 5 days after the prince birth, so the king Suttodana invite the loyal family, officers, and the wise man, and in the country, and he invited the 108 brahmanas or the wise men to have food and to predict the look, and they showed only 8 brahmana who are the greatest 8 brahmana to make a prediction. So out of 108, and the outcome of the prediction was worked the same way. There's a two ways for the prince. So if he was a layman, he would be an emperor ruling the land of 4 ocean at borderland. But if he become a monk, he would be enlightened, be the Buddhas and the first class of the greatest master in the world. And they name the prince Siddhartha, so which mean which fulfill, or one who has accomplished his goal. So one who achieved his aim, and that is the meaning of the term Siddhartha. So at that time, among the 8 brahmanas, there's one of the youngest monk named Godanya. So he's so confident that there's only one way for the prince. So he just announced that if he grew up, he's going to be the enlightened one for sure. So the among 8 brahmana. So and then people call him Gotama according to the loyal family. So people call like normally in the old day, not by name but by family name. 7 days after the prince's birth, his mother was dead. So the queen passed away after 7 days of birth. The queen Maya was dead after giving birth to the prince. So it's mentioned that it's a destiny of the Buddha mother. So Buddha mother is considered as a pure womb. So there could be any other living beings, soul could be reborn in the pure womb. So when she has done her duty, he just like die. And so the king Sutthodana assigned the duty of Pajapati Gautami, who is the Sri Mahamaya sister, to be the stepmother of the prince. So and the Pajapati Gautami, the queen, the stepmother of the Buddha, later have one prince, and one princess named Nanda, Nanda Kumara. Nanda Kumara means child. And Rupananda is a princess. So next is the Prince Siddhartha childhood. Prince Siddhartha's childhood. When he was young, he there's many important events that how much perfection that he accumulates. He was very skillful and a true learner since he was very young. So there's one miracle event, a miraculous event that's happening when he was young. So it's the first time he showing the power of meditation, that he was able to attain the one-pointedness state of meditation. So at that time, he went with his father for the farming ceremony. So went there, and after a while, he was lived alone under the under the tree. It mentioned that the Prince Siddhartha, after he was alone, he looked around and observing the people and doing and observing the farming ceremony. So it seemed like entertaining, but he wasn't really entertained by what he saw. He only saw that it was hard for the farmer and water buffalo to till land under the hot sun. And he just saw that it was difficult to earn a living. He looked up into the air and saw how a hawk and had to catch a small bird for its food, and how small bird had to catch insect for the food. He looked into the water and saw how the big fish was catching a small fish. And he saw that the world was filled with cruelty, where killing and violence were happening all the time. So with that depth consideration, it's allowed him to went into deep meditation. And with the power of the meditative attainment, is cause the miraculous things happen. So it's called that sun ray to bend in such a way that even though it was already afternoon, so the sun's already fell down, but the shadow of the Java plum is the name of the tree that he was sitting. So, but the shadow of the Java plum remained the same position. So while the shadow of like nearby trees around there, like just move, with the sun. So by remaining in the remaining in the same position, the Java plum tree even provides him even more cooler shade. even the tree is very supportive, the tree is meditating. So seeing that his nursemaid, were taking care of him, so when came back to the prince and saw that the prince meditating, and she felt amazed, and seeing that the prince was meditating, sitting, and absolutely still. And what's amazed is that the shadow of the Java plane tree remaining in the same position. So then they report to report this event to the king. So then the king came and saw his own sons meditating, and just an image, amazed scenario. So he paid homage to his own son for the second time. So what about the first time? Does anybody know, so what is the first time that King Suttotana bound to his own son? So it's not in this slide. Actually, there's a first time that's this is the second time. That's normally the father didn't pay homage to his own son, but without unawaring. So at that time he felt amazed, So he unaware, then like pay homage to his own son for the second time. Do you know when was the first time that he paid homage to and the prince?
I think when the ascetic, I think Asita was his name, saw the prince for the first time and told that he would be a very special person and become an emperor, or maybe become enlightened.
Okay, excellent. So that was the first time, So when the Asita visits, so seeing that his more respected yogi, so bound down, bound to the prince, So he just follow the yogi that he is unaware and respect his own son for the first time. Okay. So thank you very much, Hegel, Esquek, sharing. So in childhood, so there's another interesting event. So about his kindness. So Prince Siddhartha said that he was gentle when he was young, and he was loving and kind to every living being. On one occasion, after he could walk and run, he was taken to the royal park. There he found a bird shot by an arrow. So he took the bird back to the palace to nurse it and to help and to heal it. So he wanted to release the bird after it was well again. But his cousin, so Prince Tewatata came for the bird, claiming that he was the one who had shot it. So this case was brought before the minister. So they argue that who actually the owner of the bird. And finally, the Prince Tata is the winner of the chess based on the rule that that lie belonged to the person who gave it, and not the person who destroyed it. So they were arguing, So and Tewatata claimed that the bird is mine. I shot it, but the Prince Siddhartha accused that no, the bird is mine, so I helped it, so it's mine, And finally, the judge, so agree with the Prince Siddhartha and is winner. That's showing how kind he is when he was young. Just be kind by nature when he was young. So when he was 7 years old of age, so his father trying to serve him by arrange everything, arrange the palace, to be nice and luxuries. So when Siddhartha was 7, so he the king Sutthodana gave the order to dig the three ponds. It's called Bokhalani ponds in the area of loyal resident. So in the ponds, they plant the 3 different kind of lotus. So namely, Bokha lotus, there's so Bokha lotus, Bua Luang lotus, and another pond is Bundarika lotus. It's just a grateful and beautiful, like a palace that's surrounded by these ponds. So in order to please him with the king intention, that's the one, the prince to be happy living in the palace. So with the belief that he wouldn't think of going to be the monk if he happy enjoying his life staying in the palace. So since he was very young, the prince he would train and give a very well education. There's many different like learned teacher, and many well-known teacher were invited to teach him. And one of his a very well-known teacher at that time named Visawamitra. So there's many different subjects at that time. So some source mentioned that there are 18 different branch of different subject, and he can finish all of the 18 subject within 7 days. So there's many different kind of art with art and science and astrologies. So so he can study very quickly, and like even his relative, so no one can like be compared to him. So at the age of 16, so it's time to marry. So his father trying to arrange the wedding for him, to serve him more joy, So they believe that having a couple will make him even more happier. So his father arranged the wedding. So when he was 16, so he was when he grew and the king Sutthodana gave an order to build the palace, the palace or the castle for the prince to live in 3 seasons: cold season, hot season and rainy season. And then proposed the princess Yasodhara, or come from Goliya family in Tewataha. So the daughter of the king Subhaputta of Tewataha city. So whose birth given by Queen Amita, his sister, to marry to Prince Siddhartha. So in detail about this wedding, according to the text mentioned that King Suttotana wanted the prince to marry and arrange gift for the prince to give out the princess of different royal family. So the prince should his own soulmate by himself. So the way is that inviting the princess from different royal family who to the palace and told the official to observe that which princess the prince are interested in, or who is his flavor. Then all the princes who stood in front of the prince were equally beautiful and grateful, and they felt nervous, shy, but the prince did not care to look at any of them. He duly gave the gifts to each of the princes until all the gifts were gone. It was then that Prince Yasodhara of Bimba, the daughter of King Subhaputta, arrived. So Princess Yasodhara was extremely lovely, and she was blessed with five physical attributes of feminine beauty. So in Pali term, it's called Panja Kalayani. It's a kind of five characteristic of the perfect feminine beauty. What are five? So like first, a beauty hair. And second is beauty bone or beauty teeth. And third is beauty fresh or beauty lips. And fourth is beauty age. So the age is perfect. And last is beauty age, beauty hair, or beauty skin. So these there's some other, not only Yasodhara, like Visakha, the lay woman, or the main supporter in Buddhism, also have this kind of Panchakalayani, the five feminines of beauty. So unlike other princess, she was not at all nervous or shy. So when she asked for the gift, Prince Siddhartha looked up and saw that all the gift has already been given away. So he removed the bridge chain, which was more valuable than the gift given to its princess earlier, and give it to Princess Yasodhara. So with that incident, was report to the King Suttotana, that the king asked the Princess Yasodhara to be Prince Siddhartha bride. Then Princess Yasodhara family thought it's appropriate to organize a contest. So where all the prince of different royal family who also wish to marry the prince came to display their ability and to make sure that here's the great, who will is suitable for their daughter to arrange the contest. So it's turned out that Prince, Siddhartha won every contest. For example, he could lift an arrow so heavy that it took 1,000 men to lift. But he could lift it as easy as a woman lifting a roller gin. The sound he made with the arrow resounded all over the city of the Kapilavatthu. So amazingly, he shot an arrow which cuts the tail hair of a yak in two, while the yak was standing at a distance of 16 kilometers away. So that is he's showing his greatness. So finally, both royal family decided to arrange the marriage between Prince Siddhartha and Princess Yasodhara while they were just 16 years old. So Princess Yasodhara was one of the peoples and things that came into beings on the same day that Prince Siddhartha was born. So this is seven, we call in Pali term called Sahachata. So the seventh thing that was born the same day as the prince. So Princess Yasodhara is one of that seven things. So Princess Yasodhara, Venerable Ananda, Galudayi, the court's minister, Channa, the loyal page, and Gandaka, the loyal steed or the loyal horse, his favorite horse, the Bodhi tree, and the 4 treasure troves. So, okay. So this all about the births of the Buddha when he was young, as a child, and still in this chapter 3, they mention about his childhood, and the important event that happening when he was young, and still he grew up, and his father arranged his marriage for him. So now I think it's time for was. All right, so for Q&A sections, and anyone have any question for this chapter, any point that you want to discuss and want to know more about?
I would have a question.
Okay, please.
I don't know, is there a record or something set in this history of Buddhism that in every kappa there are Buddhas to arrive, or are there also some kappas where there are no Buddhas?
Oh, that's an interesting question, So I'm not sure, but what I have heard, so there's some kappa, there's no Buddha at all, So it's like there's no continuation of the Buddha. So there's a colored Buddha in the past, Each kappa, one kappa when the universe or the earth is destroying, deform and destroying. There's one kappa. So some kappa, there's no Buddha at all.
Okay. So we are very lucky that
yes. So we mentioned that in our
right? We have 3 in this kappa, right?
We have 5.
5.
5.
Yeah.
5.
Okay.
So it's the 4th. Gautama Buddha is the 4th. There's a coming Buddha named Aryamitaya.
Yeah. Okay. So we are very, very fortunate now.
So that's what the Buddha mentioned. It's difficult, to there's a maybe for difficult thing to happen in the arising of the Buddha is one of the most difficult thing to happen. Being reborn as a human, being able to listen to the Dharma or the teaching, is very fortunate. And being able to understand the teaching, that's even more fortunate. So that's why it's not easy. Buddha mentioned that it's so long, you know, so it's almost infinity. Now, he mentioned that there's no beginning, there's no ending. Now, it could not imagine that how long it is, you know. So he comparing like a person who stroke using the fine cloth stroke, the like 7 mile height and range and wide, and still that stone turned into flat. Yeah. That's a comparison. Yeah. All right.
หลวงพี่คะ just now หลวงพี่ mentioned about the 7 things that born together with the Buddha. Is it the Sahachat?
Sahaja.
Yeah. Is it does it happen to all the Buddha?
Sahachada. So in this point, I'm not sure. Né? So I'm not sure it's happened to all Buddhas or not, you know. So I think if anyone have any information about it, you can share with us. Né? So I cannot guarantee this happened to all Buddhas or not, you know. But what it show that a person who are going to be the Buddha have that 32 marks, and 32 marks of the great man. So I'm not sure. I cannot very guarantee that about the Sahachada that's happened to all Buddhas or not. Okay, that's a good question. Maybe it could be our homework. So anyone know, please share with us. That's interesting. Sahachada. Okay, anyone have any like other point? So I think I would like to assign for everyone for the first exercise. Okay, please, Sandra Gomez, do you have any question?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Nampi. I have a question, and it's about you were mentioned that at the time the astrologers somehow predict the future of the Buddha. So I was wondering if is part of the Buddhist cosmology using astrology. Is it similar that the Western approach to astrology? And yes, and if it is part of the tradition now, if you use astrology for something, or it was only at that time and it changed.
So it did mention that it's the knowledge about astrologer that people was learning and studying at that time, especially in the among the brahmanas, the wise men at that time, spiritual leader. They mostly relies on the Brahmin scripture, like we mentioned earlier, like a couple weeks ago about the Vedas, So there are also the 32 marks of the great man, and also mentioned, it is said that there's many different guru, and every guru just agree, when they come to see that this is going to be the characteristic of the great man must be in these 32 marks. And later it's become an agreement, and later become the Vedas, that's based the original soul that's the Brahmanas, the wise men at that time relies on. So that means this scripture is very well known, and the 32 marks of the great man, and also mentioned in the Brahmana text, like that Asita, or the Asita and the 8 Brahmana that's invited to give the name to the prince. They're experts in like Vedas on the scripture, and they make a calculation And I think it could be that is some that will continue that are being used to now today, with that kind of calculation. But in the teaching of the Buddha, that the Buddha what the Buddha mentioned, that's not sure that he relies on the scriptures or not. According to the sutra that he mentioned about the 32 marks.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sadhu, sadhu. All right, so now for this is the week 3. Okay, so let us do some exercise. Now I have around 10 questions for you for our today discussion and our class today. So I will send the link to the group. So there are totally 10 questions. So you can you can write your answer based on the slide that's I present to you lately, or you can you do your own research and put more information by yourself, or the textbook that Prajaan Waravut share with us in the group. So either way, so there's totally 10 questions to make sure that you understand the concept we have learned so far. So this is okay. So this is the link. Okay. So for the question, so you just put your name. Oh, sorry. For everyone in the meeting. Okay, just totally 10 questions. Okay, so yeah, you can write on your own words and your own opinions and what you have learned about the chapter today. And after you finish, you just submit. And you just have to write down your name. And answer the question. And we'll come back and take a short review for this chapter. And before we continue to the chapter 4 and next week. Okay. So the main source will be in the book that Ajahn Waravut shared with us. So you can take a look in advance. So, and any point that you don't understand, just come and ask in the class. Okay. So I think now it's time for us. Okay. So let's call it today. So with everyone, the best of health. And now let us pay respect to the Triple Gem. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namassami สุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโต สาวกสังโฆ สังฆังนามามิ Okay, see you next week. Yeah, take care.
Thank you.